Welcome to Year 3 Math. Objective of the lesson, identify equivalent fractions. And our lesson for today is all about equivalent fractions. But what is equivalent fraction? Are fractions that name the same amount. Here's a whole one. Let's fold it to make it 2 halves. This whole is in quarters. This is in sixth, this is in eighth, and this is in tenth. Let's color off 1/2 of it. 1 part out of 2, 2 parts out of 4, 3 parts out of 6, and 4 parts out of 8, and 5 parts out of 10. These are all equivalent fractions. Notice that the denominator is 2 times its numerator for all these equivalent fractions of 1/2. And you could easily think of some more like this without using fraction strips, like 10 over 20, 30 over 60, and 50 over 100. I want you to take note, there is rule. Equivalent fractions can only be made by multiplying or dividing. And whatever I do to the numerator, top, I've got to do to the denominator, bottom. These equivalent fractions of 1/2 have bigger numbers, but we can say they all have same size value. So we multiply to get these equivalent fractions. Here's 1/2. What do I multiply the numerator and denominator by to get this equivalent fraction? It's 2. 1 times 2 equals 2, and 2 times 2 equals 4. I use the factor of 2 to make this equivalent fraction. You can say whatever I do to the top, I've got to do to the bottom. So if I use the factor of 3, I get this equivalent fraction. A factor of 4 is equal to 4/8. And when I use 5, I get this equivalent fraction. Whatever I do to the top, I've got to do to the bottom. Let's do practice again. 3/4. So it's 3/4. What if I use a factor of 2? 3 times 2 equals 6, the new numerator. 4 times 2 equals 8, the new denominator. Or I could use 3. 3 times 3 equals 9, over 4 times 3 equals 12. I could use 5. 5 times 3 equals 15, over 5 times 4 equals 20. Here's another example. Write 4 equivalent fractions for 3/8. We can multiply it by 3/8 times 2 over 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. And 8 times 2 equals 16. So 6/16 is the equivalent fraction of 3/8. What if we multiply it by 4 over 4? 3 times 4 equals 12, and 8 times 4 equals 32. Thus 12 over 32nd is the equivalent fraction of 3/8. What if we did 10 over 10? That would be 30 over 80. What about 10,000 over 10,000? That would give us 30,000 over 80,000. That's the equivalent fraction of 3/8. Take a look at this equivalent fraction. If we can find the missing numerators and denominators, look at the first one. 9 times 8 would give you 72. If you multiply 7 times 8, that would give you 56. 4 times 5 equals 20, and 7 times 5 equals 35. That's the missing denominator. 8 times 7 equals 56. Something times 7 is 21. That would be 3. So 2 times 9 is 18. Something times 9 is 45. That would give you 5. Always remember, children, you can use any factor to make equivalent fractions. So that's all, children. Thank you.